Coming up tonight, live at 11, local schools finding comfort in a time of tragedy.
I think you're going to see a lot of healing.
Using sports to cope with a huge loss.
This is moving on.
Tonight, they prove to the world that life moves on. Coming up next, live at 11.
An emotional tribute tonight at a local high school as athletes play to pay tribute to two classmates killed in a terrible car crash just 2 days ago. Centennial High School's football team headed to the field tonight with a heavy heart. Players had two young ladies, fellow classmates, on their mind, students whose lives were cut short too soon. Action News reporter Jeff Gradney attended tonight's game and has the emotional story. Jeff?
Well, Christina, for students from Mojave High who go to school here, tonight's game was a homecoming. But for students and parents from Centennial High, the visitors tonight, this was the time to come together.
Shed, stick. Let's go.
As Centennial meets Mojave on the field tonight, the rules remain the same.
You want the ball.
But this is a different kind of game.
We're going right after it. First drive, offense, touchdown. Let's go!
It may look like a football game, but this is moving on. This is healing.
1, 2, 3.
I don't think you're going to see jersey color out here tonight. I think you're going to see a lot of healing.
Football is a game of hard hits, but the pain many players feel tonight comes from their hearts.
There's going to be a lot of teary eyes out there on the field.
Get back! The letters L and T on Centennial helmets tell what tonight's game is really about. Honors on the field for Lindsay Nixon and Tiffany Howell, popular Centennial students both killed in a car crash Wednesday.
We're just playing for them.
Players like Chris Boudreau's son playing their hearts out tonight for Tiffany, Lindsay, and those who love them most.
You see tears, you see them crying, and it's so hard to see your son, feeling this. I can only imagine the families.
On this field tonight, a tribute to two favorite fans who can no longer cheer, but who left behind lessons in the game of life.
Get with your kids. There's distractions in those cars, the stereo, the friends riding with them, all that. Those are distractions. It's not worth what we're suffering right now because of this tragedy.
And Centennial ended up winning tonight's game, score 42-26. And tonight, that's more than just a sports story. Reporting live, Jeff Gradney, Channel 13 Action News.
Services for the teens begin this weekend. A visitation for Lindsay Nixon will be from 4 to 6 Sunday evening at Palm Mortuary on West Cheyenne and Buffalo. Her funeral service is Monday morning at 11. And memorial services for Nixon and Tiffany Howell will be held at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday at Shadow Hills Baptist Church on 7811 Vegas Drive. Well, for so many people living near the area where the girls died, they are asking tough questions about safety on the valley's roads. In the Northwest, new lanes have popped up on the Beltway between Charleston and Cheyenne and along Craig Road between Buffalo and Durango. And in the South, drivers say it seems like there's always construction and traffic delays. People who have been around for a while, well, they chalk it all up to bad planning by developers, but also Clark County officials.
They're putting roads and water in, but it almost seems like after the fact or an afterthought.
The traffic troubles also continue in the southern part of the valley. While new roads are clearing congestion on Silverado Ranch and Bermuda, there's always congestion at Blue Diamond and Rainbow with no end in sight. Well, family and friends gathered tonight at UMC to pray for a motorcyclist who's fighting for his life. The 18-year-old was seriously hurt in a crash earlier this week at Buffalo and Sahara. Paramedics say the man had no vital signs at the scene, but they were able to resuscitate him and take him to the hospital. Police say the biker ran a stop sign and hit a car. One local family is mourning the loss of their grandmother while the man police say is responsible fights for his life in the hospital. 33-year-old Eddie Lopez Rodriguez remains in UMC's intensive care unit. Police say he was drinking last Friday when his car collided with 65-year-old Bertha Tuttle's car. Officers say Tuttle died on impact. Her loved ones say they are far from recovering from the shock of this loss.
I hate it. I hate it that it was her. I wish it was me at this point, because she was just one of those people that will forever be remembered by a lot of people that she cleaned houses for and worked for.
When released from the hospital, Lopez Rodriguez will face DUI charges and, if convicted, could spend up to 20 years in prison. Well, the FBI is asking for your help tonight in connection with an armed robbery out of Utah. They're looking for 2 men after investigators say a U.S. bank was held up in St. George, Utah. This man, who the FBI calls a person of interest, was captured on surveillance video inside the bank within minutes of the holdup. The FBI fears the men behind it may have ties to Nevada because the getaway car had Nevada license plates. Well, you've heard stories of people trying to con the government out of cash in the Katrina recovery process. Now it's happened right here in Las Vegas. That's according to Clark County officials who say this afternoon 4 women were arrested at the Hurricane Relief Center while applying for funding from the American Red Cross. Officials say the women were using fraudulent information to obtain cash. A man involved in a deadly robbery will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Kevin Martinet has been sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Martinet, along with another man, were accused of robbing and killing an Odyssey Lounge bartender back in 2004. Well, last August, he pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. The head of Nevada's Child and Family Services Division has announced that she's stepping down. Joan Bosworth, who's headed the agency for 2 years, says she's moving on to lead a youth opportunities group in St. Louis, Missouri. Her agency has been criticized recently by youth advocacy groups, but Nevada's Human Services Director claims Bosworth was never asked to step down. Well, bankruptcy law changes start on Monday, and as you might expect, bankruptcy lawyers are very, very busy tonight. The U.S. Bankruptcy Court in Nevada says that Chapter 7 filings have more than doubled over the past year, from just over 1,000 last September to more than 2,300 last month. Under the new laws, it will be harder to file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection. Powerball fever spreads across state lines this weekend, and tonight we show you how to get into the game. It is your best bet for a shot at a jackpot worth, get this, more than $250 billion. Action News reporter Mark Sayer traveled state lines to find Nevadans in Arizona trying to strike it rich.
On this lonely stretch of US 93, seemingly in the middle of nowhere, is one of Arizona's top-selling lottery outlets, and you need only look at the license plates in the parking lot to see why. Nevadans running across the border in search of a dream.
Just the thoughts of never having to work again, and just, you know, being able to hang out, do nothing, you know, take care of my family, friends. I mean, who wouldn't want to take a chance, you know?
Al Molinaro left $100 of his hard-earned Nevada money here in Arizona.
$290 million.
And Steve Hamilton, like everyone else, has a plan.
Let's see, fake my own death with my family, move to Colorado, just get out and go see the world.
Get your Powerball tickets back here.
Pam Stalick is going to be busy all day today and tomorrow, working 2 Powerball machines at the same time.
It's been steady all day. The lines aren't out the door, but that's just because I'm so fast. I get them in and out.
It's very important. It multiplies my business good. And so does the employees. They make more money too.
Right.
That's a good thing.
Here's your other 20.
All right, well, White Hills, Arizona is located between Hoover Dam and Kingman. The Powerball jackpot is at about $300 million, and the numbers will be picked tomorrow night. It is another historic day in Iraq as people are heading to the polls. We'll have the latest on the efforts to make sure Iraqis get to those polls safely. And European officials are not taking any chances when it comes to dealing with the deadly bird flu. Find out what they're planning to keep people from getting sick. Plus, the water woes continue in the Northeast as more rain is expected to head their way this weekend. We'll show you how they're dealing with the situation. Nate?
Christina, there's talk of some rain around here, but more than anything, it is going to be a lot of wind. Yes, there'll be chances for rain and maybe even some snow up in the high country. Your 7-day forecast straight ahead in Action Weather.
Breaking news, solving problems in Southern Nevada. You're watching Channel 13 Action News Live. The autumn landscape, the quick drop in temperatures, strong winds, sudden downpours. It's nice to know the early warning Desert Doppler is operating right now. Non-stop searching, constantly detecting, always identifying any approaching threats. The largest weather team in southern Nevada, in the morning, throughout the day, into your night and weekend, looking out for you, keeping you on top of storm activity, so all of southern Nevada can rest easy.
Right now, Iraqis make history as they head to the polls to vote on their country's first constitution. But the big question is, will Sunni minorities participate in the election or let insurgents use violence to undermine it? ABC's Gloria Riviera reports.
In a series of 5 attacks leading up to the landmark vote, insurgents detonated a bomb outside the Sunni Islamic Party offices in Baghdad. Shortly after the evening meal, insurgents struck power lines surrounding Baghdad and knocking out electricity in the city. Shiites and Kurds are in favor of the constitution, but Sunni support is split. Iraqi forces and the U.S. military ramped up security to encourage people to vote.
We will see violence. We monitor that very closely, and there is an intent there. We think we've disrupted a great deal of their capacity to do it, but there will be some. There is no doubt about that.
The U.S. sees adopting the Constitution as a key step in achieving democracy, and it could lead to a reduction in foreign troops. Last-minute amendments won support from Sunnis. Their votes are critical in order for the new Constitution to pass. This Sunni man told us he would vote in favor of the Constitution if his clerics supported it, while another Sunni man said he was opposed. More attacks are feared, but many Iraqis say going to the polls is worth the risk for democracy. Gloria Riviera, ABC News.
European officials say they have got a medical emergency on their hands. The European Union held an emergency meeting today to come up with a way to keep people from getting sick. Chickens were bagged and killed by the thousands, and in Romania, thousands of others were burned. European officials are not taking any chances when it comes to the deadly bird flu. One plan is to keep farm birds away from wild birds, hoping to keep the disease from spreading. European officials are also planning to stockpile the antiviral drug Tamiflu. So far, it appears that American officials are satisfied with the European response.
Europe is pretty organized, including Turkey, and so one could imagine that they could even stop the outbreak in its tracks.
Despite the precautions, many are scared to eat chicken. Sales in Turkey are down 30%, but Turkey's prime minister made a public showing of eating chicken for dinner as he broke his Ramadan fast. Well, a couple of Pennsylvania families are struggling to understand why one woman would attack another for her baby. Police say Peggy Jo Connor attacked her pregnant neighbor and friend Valerie Oskin. Connor had been lying to friends and family for months that she was expecting her 4th child, but authorities say it was all a hoax and that Connor had her eyes on getting Oskin's baby. Connor hit her friend several times with the bat before cutting her abdomen. Connor's boyfriend says he's having a very difficult time understanding why she would do something so terrible.
I've been wandering around this house. It's like a ghost. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to think at this point. Nothing. I don't have nothing.
Peggy Connor is in jail without bail. Oskin, meanwhile, has had an emergency C-section. She and her baby boy are doing okay. Friends and family gathered earlier today to say goodbye to Taylor Bell. The Virginia Commonwealth University student disappeared on Labor Day. Her body was found last week in a wooded area nearby. A 38-year-old man is in custody on unrelated child porn and gun charges. Yesterday would have been Bell's 18th birthday. Well, a 4-year-old girl found wandering the streets last month will stay with her family in Queens, New York. A family court judge awarded temporary custody of Valerie Lozada to her mother's relatives. Another hearing is set for February. Lozada was found wandering New York streets barefoot. A body believed to be her mother's was found recently, but the body still has not been identified. Police believe her mother's boyfriend killed her. It'll be a lot tougher for people to get around San Francisco this weekend. Caltrans is demolishing a part of the Bay Bridge as part of work to strengthen it against future earthquakes. Some local business owners worry that they'll lose customers because people will have to stay on one side of the city. Caltrans officials have assured them this will be the last major shutdown.
Past month of closures that Caltrans has had to do on the west approach to the Bay Bridge, this one is going to be the toughest. The team is faced with a huge challenge to get as much demolition done as we possibly can this weekend, because it is our final weekend for this phase of the project.
Other businesses say they are not worried about losing business because they hope that customers will find a way to get around the construction. People in the soggy Northeast are waiting it out tonight, hoping their homes will not be washed away by floodwaters. Many areas have been dealing with rain for 8 days straight. People in Keene, New Hampshire are back in their homes, but some worry they could be forced out again if a nearby dam breaks. City officials say the dam is secure and will withstand this weekend's storms. Meanwhile, people in Connecticut say bad engineering is to blame for a mountain of mud that gave way earlier today. Look at this. It left an avalanche of mud just feet away from homes. Officials sent construction crews home early today and say they don't have a long-term plan in case the mud ends up running downhill again. And people in New Jersey cannot catch a break. Oh my goodness. Not only was there rain falling, but water from a pond was running into homes there also. Police in Asbury Park, New Jersey, were working to keep cars out of rising waters. Well, Nate, we've got to consider ourselves here in southern Nevada very, very lucky. Look at those images.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, that's a mess. 8 days in a row, over a foot of rain. And, yeah, but I just have to ask you one question. Is there a newscast every night here at 11 o'clock at night?
Every night.
I'm usually in bed at this
You
time.
are. You're a trooper.
Yes.
With us here at 11
We're having some fun. Absolutely. And great to be here.
So the hope is that you're going to deliver some good news, some good weather news, right, Nate?
Tomorrow's going to start out great, and then we're going to go downhill. We are talking about a lot of wind around here, but I think that's mainly what it's going to be. Still some chances for rain. The early warning desert Doppler right now has your 4 live up-to-the-minute radar sweeps, and they are in the clear. However, we think there'll be some chances for rain. Again, not a real big deal. Mostly it will be those gusty wind and big-time cooler temperatures, too. How about right now? As we take a look outside, let's see what we got. Skycam, and how about 73 degrees, only 17% humidity, hardly any wind. We could probably put like a 2 there by this time tomorrow night. 27, upwards of 30 miles an hour. Barometer falling right now to 9.97, into the upper 60s in some neighborhoods, 74 downtown, and wind speeds really not much of a factor. We know that if you wanted to take the 95 way up to like Beatty, they're having Beatty days this weekend, and I think they have a greased pig auction on Sunday. All right, for today we made 87. The low this morning was 60, and here's what's going on out there. We watch this area of low pressure starting to roll on in, and that is going to spell big wind for us. For the rest of tonight, 62. Boy, it's a great start to the day, but then it goes downhill. 85 the high, but winds gusting to 30 miles an hour over the next 7 days. Yes, we got the wind continuing Sunday, and then the temperature drops with chances for rain. We'll keep an eye on it. The early warning desert Doppler will have it. Also, earlier today, Christina, I had the chance to go out to the Stardust Hotel and MC the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce's Customer Service Excellence Awards Luncheon, and it's really cool. It's a fancy name for a program that basically allows you to say thank you to someone you encounter in your everyday life who you think has done a wonderful job. Your dry cleaner, or your hairdresser, or the mayor, or whoever. And there are 800 people there today who got awards for being recognized for great customer service.
And that is such a wonderful thing, because so many times we forget to say thank you.
It's so easy, yeah.
Job well done.
There you go. Well, thank you.
All right, and thank you, Nate.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Channel 13 Action Weather brought to you by Consumer Credit Counseling Service. For all your financial counseling needs, call 364-0344.
The latest round of Got Milk ads center around baseball's recent steroid scandal. And while many laugh as the campaign pokes fun at it, well, not everyone is amused. Don't expect to see the trademark milk mustaches. Nope, these new campaign ads hope to get your attention and get you to buy milk by using a controversial topic.
Home run hitter Dave Layden was pulled from last night's lineup after testing positive for a performance-enhancing substance. The substance, said to help rebuild muscles muscles and maintain bone strength was found in the hitter's locker before game time.
I don't know how that got in there.
Critics say the new ads will not help sell more milk and that the ads could actually send a bad message to children. The chairman of the California Milk Processor Board says he didn't expect this kind of criticism, but that he says he's not worried about it. He says if it sparks one conversation with parents and kids about doing something good for their bodies, then it is worth it. Well, we're getting down to crunch time in high school football here in the Valley. Our very own high school pigskin guru, Brian Samudio, will take us through all the action, including a 3A showdown right here in Las Vegas. Action Sports coming up next.
The Action News weather team. The early warning desert Doppler. Accurate forecasting you can plan by. Always first with early warnings. When it comes to your safety, when it comes to your family's protection, you depend on the best so you can rest easy. Channel 13 Action News. Now, Channel 13 Action Sports.
Welcome back. Now, Christina, when you say pigskin guru, do you mean greased pig skin? Nate Tenenbaum. Not only do the Clark Chargers have to deal with that and the fact that they haven't won a game since 2002, but tonight they had to face the toughest offensive unit in the state. Clark taking on Bishop Gorman, Sam Boyd Stadium. How about the Newshawk checking this out? Clark trying to get something going. Brandon Weissenberger looking down the middle, hooks up with big Kevin Shaw for the gain, but the night was all Bishop Gorman. The Gales, DJ Ingram and Nick Arichetto, come up with the big sack. Gorman hammers Clark 67-6. Rivalry night, Cimarron as the Spartans hosting Cheyenne. Coach, can I play? Coach, my dad's in the stands. Coach, we'll run the 32 dive, will you? Fourth quarter, Sparks looking for the field goal. Michael Kelly coming through. But it was that Spartan D that was to be reckoned with. Whoop! Snap right over the head. Marcus Carter will come up with the recovery. Cimarron is 7-1, 27-0 over Cheyenne. Newshawk hovering just above I-95. Undefeated Western hosting Bonanza in front of a good crowd. Warriors on the move. Call to T. John Hall. Watch this kid move. Breaking to the right side, outside, nice. Shoestring tackle by the Bengals, Romero Fermil Jr. Hall loses the pigskin. Must be greased. Bonanza's Frederick Mertis there to pounce on it no matter. Warriors tomahawk Bonanza 34-0. I'm going to have a thing with that for a while. Foothill putting their perfect record on the line against Silverado. Newshawk hovering. Falcons at midfield, snap to D'Angelo Jones, and this kid does one thing. Score touchdowns in the open. Nothing but taillights. 58 yards for Mr. Jones and me. Foothill is 8-0, 25-22 over Silverado. Canyon Springs trying to knock off Las Vegas. Wildcats came to play, though, already up 18-0. And sniffing more, Jeremy Craddock out in the flat to Gates Avant down the sideline. No one's going to get him, and everybody wants to step out and look, as well as our cameraman. Cats are 7-1, 30-6 over Canyon Springs. Out to Durango, Trailblazers hosting the Valley Vikings. And guys, I'll bet they spent a lot of time on that sign. Kick return of the night by Valley's Gino Odong. Oh, darn, Odong. Right up the gut, breaking tackles, and watch the hurdle right at the end that I mentioned. He also carries a GPA of over 4.0. Not bad. Vikes jump to 7-0, 56-0 over Durango. Over to Sierra Vista High School, where they have one of the top halftime shows in the Valley. You want to know who wasn't impressed? Spring Valley Grizzlies claw the Mountain Lions 16-14. Final on this one. Centennial visiting Mojave, fired up Bulldog sideline in this one. You can imagine why. Centennial knocking on the door. Keeper Jared Noah. Dogs in business. But the Rattlers bite right back. Hand off to DeAndre Taylor. Going right, gets popped as he scores. Centennial, though, rolls to 6-2, 42-26 over Mojave. El Dorado and Chaparral, both teams desperate, needing a win to stay in that playoff hunt. Did you know that on the sideline, the El Dorado cheerleaders have their own little orange truck? They drive it to and from school. Not really. Chaparral ball trying to go to the outside. Watch the Sun Devil D stretch this play out. Tyler Morris, nowhere to go, but Chaparral wins the war 35-14. Liberty hosting Green Valley, where they're actually rolling out the red carpet for the Newshawk. More like kicking it out. No, actually it was homecoming. Nice looking folks in the sidelines, dressed to the T's, but Green Valley not in the mood to dance. Gators drop the D on the Patriots tonight, 28-0. Green Valley improves to 4-4. Rancho and the Newshawk visiting Desert Pines. Jags trying to get on the scoreboard. One of the strongest legs in the Valley belongs to Pedro Martinez. This is out of a cannon. 43-yard field goal for Martinez. That is the difference. Desert Pines holds off Rancho 10-7 to get their first win of the season. Finally, two of the top 3A teams in the state going at it. Faith Lutheran hosting Boulder City. Good crowd on hand. Got to check in with the drum line. Oh yeah, nice piece of work. Thumbs up. You rock! Oh yeah, first quarter Faith Lutheran on the move. The call. Outside, James Barrett around the right side. He will go in untouched. Faith Lutheran wins a huge game at home, 39-36 on a field goal in overtime. Good to see the Crusaders
Close
on
game.
a Friday night.
36-39. All right, thanks, Brian. We'll be right back.
All righty, let's see what's going on out there. We believe it'll be in the low 60s. The wind picks up by the middle of the day, 85 in the afternoon. By the way, if you're going to Beatty Days, if you don't like pig races, there's also bed races and parade tomorrow morning. Beatty.
I love
Parade Pig. Parade Pig.
Hey, check it out.
Thanks for joining us tonight. You have a great, great night.
Beatty Hornets.
Yeah, there you go.